just because there's a lot of questioning right now, whether or not, do I need to replace my roof? What's it going to cost?
Yeah.
And I think some of the biggest issue also in our industry is you call one company and it's 10,000, you call another one, it's 15, you call another one, it's 20.
Yeah.
So how do you know who to use? So sometimes it's just a tool to be transparent, to say, look, this is what it should be. Whether or not you're using Sword or you're using our competitor, we want you to feel like, I know what I'm buying, it's in line with other companies, without making a choice on process of elimination, where naturally you're going to go with the middle bid,
right?
Just because, the low one's the cheap man, the top one's overselling, the middle one's got to be the guy that's doing it right.
Right.
So literally it's just a tool to quickly provide that estimate whenever they're in that pinch. They're in a Friday to, hey, we have 48 hours to get some of these answers. We want to be able to provide them.
Today we have Cory Bryant, owner of Sword Roofing. Cory is a University of Cincinnati graduate and started his business in 2017. Cory and Sword Roofing are top of the house certified and have been recognized as Best of the East for the past 5 years. They also hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they've earned over 250 5-star reviews. Beyond his professional achievements, Cory is passionate about giving back to the community through coaching. Currently, he's coaching the West Claremont junior varsity basketball team, where he's dedicated to mentoring and developing young athletes. Welcome to the show, Cory Bryant.
Welcome, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
We've switched things up with Real Producers. So obviously everything we do for real estate agents is free because of our partners. So there's a direct correspondence between our partners in Real Producers and the support that they give directly to the realtors that we feature. Sword and obviously Next Door Photo being two of those. So when I first met Cory, not to dive into this tangent real quick, but when I first met Cory, I told him I hated roofing companies. And he was like, all right, let's talk about this one, Pat. Like, this is not a really good sales pitch, buddy. Buddy. And I'm like, I don't like a lot of roofing companies. And he explained it in a way that made so much sense. And he was like, and we're the exact opposite. And then when he proved it, it was like, boom, the light bulb kind of went off for me. And you could really see the service standards that Sword Roofing really does provide to their clients and to the realtors throughout the greater Cincinnati area. Like, I was floored, and it completely changed my perspective. Maybe not of all roofing companies, but specifically this one, to a point where I told them, we don't offer exclusivity to anybody, but I don't plan on ever partnering with another roofing company. So they are the exclusive roofing partner in Real Producers because of that. So with that said, thanks for coming on the show, man. We appreciate you, and we want to kind of highlight your business and learn more about it. But typically when we get together with people, we ask, like, what kind of what would you do before you got into roofing? So let's kind of just do that. Like, I know it's family owned, which I can't wait to get into that with you about. But what did you guys do before the roofing company started in 2017?
Yeah. So first and foremost, thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And the opportunity to be here today. Before 2017, when we started Sword, I was actually in the chemical side. I was in chemical engineering, blending chemicals. How that correlated kind of is as a unique story. Basically, I was blending chemicals for FedEx, Pepsi, Coke. It was a lot of alkaline cleaners. So one of the alkaline cleaners is actually here at R&L Carriers, the truck wash bay. So whenever their trucks drive through, there's a spray, obviously a certain concentrate that they use, but that is injected into the hoses, and that's what cleans the outside of all the trucks. So there's a certain amount of dirt, filth, obviously for branding, things like that you want to be able to see the brand when driving down the road. So I was involved in a lot of spearheading, just the chemical makeup of how those products work. kind of how that correlates to roofing. I know it's a,
Sure.
what do you mean?
Yeah.
But traveling up to a lot of the plants, roofing is actually made in a similar sense. It starts out, obviously with chemicals, and then you have, asphalt, you have granules, amount of copper that's added. So watching the line and the amount of shingles that are produced per day, and actually getting in the plant. They have QC labs where they're doing quality checks on the different batches that they run. So it was very similar to what I was used to. So
Wow.
weirdly enough, my brothers had called me while I was in, not knowing, the correlation. They had worked for another roofing company, dealt with a different vision with that owner and kind of the sale factor. So they had reached out to me and were like, "Hey man, you want to get in this with us, So I took a shot, didn't realize the correlation, and that's where we are today. As far as my brothers go, you have Justin and Joey. Joey kind of handles the admin behind the scenes, and Justin oversees the sales.
Wow. And then you've always been kind of the face for me as far as my contact person. So like, is that kind of your role? You're big in the marketing, you're big in education. I know that, which we can talk about in a little bit, the CE course, because I think that'll provide a lot of value for any agents who are interested in learning more and also getting some CE credits too. But what kind of role do you play then with the company?
So my role is typically just, you would throw it under the marketing hat, but I think when people hear marketing, they think of creativity.
Yeah.
And that's not me. Marketing's more like lead generation, man, just developing relationships, nurturing those relationships. Like we know, I discussed that before we got on here. Relationships are important. We believe in, invest in our relationships versus ads. And, just trying to, get the name out there through people.
Yeah.
So we just kind of, lead with, what we believe in and, lead with the quality, be on time, show up. And like you had mentioned before, educate over sell. Mm-hmm. It's big to educate a homeowner, the homeowner feeling comfortable. And I think in our industry, we needed that. And we needed a layer of transparency. And, tried to clear up the name per se of contractors in the roofing industry. We want to stand out. We're all not bad, but, we want to hope that everyone else would then, follow the same route. If we can kind of, spearhead the way it should be done, we hope that other companies, other entrepreneurs that do want to be in trades, then follow the same footsteps and path that we did. And that end goal is, helping the homeowner.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, having been a homeowner that you have helped,
we appreciate
I can
that.
definitely speak to your company's integrity. So Johnny was out to our house and we had a leak and he was trying to figure out where it was, and he's up on the roof and he's FaceTiming me, showing me what he's seeing, and we're doing water tests and all kinds of stuff. And not only did he go through all of that, but like he was just really honest with me about like the issues that my roof had, and didn't just try to sell me a full replacement or whatever, like a lot of roofing companies would. So just wanted to give you that quick shout out.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do and differentiate in that aspect is, make sure that, we provide as much education for the homeowner so that they can then make the decision whether or not they, do I want to repair it? Do I want to replace it? We want them to then feel like, if they choose the repair route, that then they would call us back when time to replace. So I think, it's easier to rip the Band-Aid off and just go to the full replacement route. Mm-hmm. So I think, I just really appreciate our guys and, them being so bought into continuing to educate themselves. We have a lot of, in the basketball world, we would call it GBT, good basketball talk, but roofing talk. So we do a lot of good roofing talk within our company. And just staying sharp with the forever changes that we're facing.
Yeah, GRT, dude.
Yeah, GRT, man.
GRT,
great roofing talk.
There it is. That's awesome. Yeah, I know that my father-in-law has used them, and then my father recently used you guys because he had a leak, and he was just like, man, they were so informative in the way that they just explained. And he's like, I don't know anything about roofs. Like, they could have told me I needed a whole new roof, and I probably would have said, Sure. And they're like, well, because of this ice storm, this is what happened. And this is the penetration. It's cool. We can fix it for this. And he was like, thank you. Like, you guys could have just raked me over the coals. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about that before, as far as, the stigma behind certain roofing companies. Their goal is to push the upsale, right? Like, and you guys were like, we're going to do what's in the best interest of the client. And that's what was really relieving for me to hear, because I think I've dealt with some of those other ones before that are like, oh yeah, the leak, we got to replace the whole thing, and I'm just like, well, do we, and I don't know any better. So
yeah, and that's why, again, I appreciate our guys, is because in our industry, the rule of thumb is kind of hire 10 and you're going to keep 3. So when a storm hits, you're going to have 10 guys out, knocking doors, trying to service, but only 3 of those guys are going to last. And again, it's just, they're trying to sell based on a commission factor, obviously. So they have to, be able to continue to sell roofs to be successful. Where our guys, we obviously have commission, but I think that with the amount of opportunities that they have and the way that our customers interact with us, it allows them to again, just be honest. Develop the relationships furthermore, and the customer then calls you back.
Yeah.
We've actually even got into some AI tools and some different, just different ways to be transparent. So if you go to our website, and this isn't a ploy or anything, but if you go to our website, there is an online tool there where you can throw in your address, and it's going to send you a good, better, best quote for your roof, along with financing options. Reason we did that is, again, because we don't believe that we should have to ask questions about, where do you work? Are you a doctor? Are you a lawyer? Right. Then you start, ticking the price up. So a lot of it's not learning the sales tactic. It's, again, just back to that, nurturing the relationship and just being very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So I think if you're very knowledgeable, you don't have to be salesy.
Sure.
So I think that's where we're a little bit different, is all of our guys have that knowledge and, bring it each time. We won't hire a guy that's salesy. It just doesn't fit with everybody and our, whether it's, the rest of our sales or on up, from us to our production manager. It's not a good fit.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions about, well, and maybe they're not even misconceptions, because for some roofing companies, kind of like your past experiences, they may be very true, but what are some of those other biggest things that maybe, as you're talking to homeowners, that they're surprised about roofs or about the way that roofing companies operate? I don't really know exactly what I'm asking here, but I think
that's a good question. I think that what customers need to understand really is, when after a storm or dealing with the roof, a roof is a system, so you want to have it checked. You have your HVAC checked every year. You have these systems in your home checked, your vehicles, their maintenance, routine, oil change, and then we have the life of a roof, condition of a roof, and a lot of people, to your point, Patrick, they don't know.
Right.
And so what we try to do is, it's almost like a yearly checkup at the doctor, and I wouldn't say yearly, but every few years, just have us out, have us come look at anything. If there's any nail heads that are popping, exposed nail heads. There's little things that we can do, even something as little as during the inspection, cleaning out a little run of gutter so that you don't have any water overflowing, just little things. And then having that report, having that kind of doctor diagnosis, is my roof going to last? How many years do I have left in it approximately? Because the misconception is we don't have a true tool to tell you how long a roof is going to last yet.
Right.
They're developing one now through NTS and through some different channels in the roofing industry to tell you the pretty much the defined age of the shingle. So right now it's a toss-up. So every roofer kind of has their own idea of how old a roof can be. I would say the biggest thing a homeowner should know is just, your what type of policy do you have? Do you have an actual cash value or do you have a replacement cost value? And the reason being is, obviously replacement cost, you get the actual cash. It is what it is, it's, but I would not file a claim on an actual cash value. The way the insurance industry is changing for all of them. It used to be just, for this particular one, go to that company. For this particular one, go. But all of them are kind of on board now. So it's harder to get your roof replaced through the insurance. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but what a lot of the homeowners don't understand is the sizing and the different changes that happen to the chemistry factor.
Yeah.
So a lot of sizes changed in 2008, 2009, 60% of Ohio's roofs were replaced.
Wow.
During, I forget, it was Hurricane Ike or something that came through. Obviously, I wasn't in the industry then. But during that storm, it was, a matter of taking a bundle of shingle, throwing it up. If the shingle was brown and it was a little different brown, they're going to buy the roof. But now it's come to a point where it's a like, kind, and quality state. So we're not really looking at the matching factor. We're looking at, is it the same size? Is it the same granules? Does it have the same amount of copper in it? Is it made the same way? To give you an idea, we carry charts with us, but Owens Corning, they went from English to metric. And Tamco was the last company in 2012 to make that major change. So they've all shifted to be kind of the same size. Well, what happened with insurance companies, they would tell you to go out and, go grab this bundle of shingle, this, GAF or Owens Corning at Lowe's or Home Depot. Well, you'd get up there and you'd use the shingle. It's a whole different size.
Yeah.
It's a different color. I mean, you can't manipulate. So the argument back is, out of a package, we can't manipulate the product. We can't take a razor blade to it to trim off 3/4 of an inch in the width, a few inches off the height. So the industry, it's understanding what shingle you have, and that's where the education factor comes in. So if we show up to a home, even though if it's one missing shingle or 40, it doesn't really matter. If that shingle's discontinued and we know that it's been discontinued and it's no longer in production or it's made differently, even from the adherent that they used, some of the adhesives, the way that some have new patent, what we call sure nail strips with Owens Corning, where you put the nails in. But even as 2012, Owens Corning has a product that they had released that they're telling customers to file a warranty claim against because it failed.
Ooh.
So it's a forever changing. When one of them does one thing, obviously they all want to try to compete and try to, play, I don't know that game you would call it, but stay first in the industry, come up with the new best version of everything. And in doing so, that's costing some of them, quality and customers, obviously sometimes are the back end recipient of that. So really it's just when we go out, we want the homeowner to know, what type of shingle do I have? Is it still in production? That's going to then send us down, a certain, I would think of it as like a tree. We're going to go here if it's repairable, non-repairable, and then we're going to work down those funnels and start processing in that way. So first thing to know is if you have a discontinued shingle, do not repair it. Repairs can cost you a full roof replacement. In the real estate industry and even as a homeowner, a lot of us don't understand that. You have a leaky pipe boot, but your argument now goes out the window. If you had a argument of this isn't the same like, kind, and quality, well, Patrick, if you swap out a few shingles and now you're arguing that, you need a new roof because it's not the same like, kind, and quality, well, the insurance argument back now can be, well, you've been living with that repair that was already on your house. I mean, why can't we just repair what we're currently looking at?
Right.
So that's where it can become, one shingle becomes a full roof, not because that's what we're out to get. It's just because that's the way that we have to put the homeowner back to full based on their policy being replacement cost or actual cash value.
Absolutely.
So it's really a deep dive and that's why some of our best, referral partners are insurance agents and obviously realtors, but insurance agents that understand this process and understand that we're not out to take. We're there to take when it's justified.
Yeah.
And we won't, put your homeowner in a pickle to where we slammed a tarp on to create damage. Because you have to think, if there's one missing shingle and we put a tarp around it, Well, now you have 40 missing shingles
Right.
because you have holes in all of them. So the goal of the roofer is to tarp it because we're creating damage. So now that your argument to the insurance company isn't, well, I got one shingle. It's, well, I have a whole slope now I have to replace. So that's why again, if your roof needs a tarp, we'll put it on. There's sometimes we'll not tarp it and people, what do you didn't tarp? It's like, well, no, shingle shed water downward. Your underlayment is what keeps the water out. So if your underlayment was there and we think it's doing its job, we're not going to create more damage.
Right.
Where other roofing companies might have, thrown a tarp up and over the ridge or the hips to get the whole thing bought. Now, I understand that everybody wants the brand new, but at the end of the day, it's what's justified and what's right. What's the right thing to do each time. And I think if you continue to, lead with that, that quality in mind and that, that is the forefront of everything that you do. Again, it just boils back to, having those standards and, operating by those standards every day. I don't want to sound cheesy either, where it's, hey, but obviously we make mistakes, but we're there to fix them. I think a lot of our issue were when we came in, it was, hey, I used this company who installed my roof after this storm and now I can't get a hold of them, or they're not in Ohio, what we call storm chasers. So for the longest time it was, roofers are storm chasers. They're going to jam pack, and as AI and things get more creative, I mean, man, we get every day, if a storm hits, I can literally pick out the house, the street, and tell you, like, yeah, this house had hail, this house had wind,
That's
just
wild.
off AI and tools and how much, shingle manufacturers are investing into that technology so that they can give back to the roofers to then sell more product. So it's a forever changing battle right now. I think right now, though, the third biggest thing would be roof age. Here in Ohio, depending on your insurance company, again, it's all of them, not one or the other. But in Ohio, it's typically your roof can be about 15 years old. In Indiana and Kentucky, you're at 10 years old. So people argue, well, we have a 30-year shingle and a 50-year shingle that you're selling, but we only get 15 or 10. Again, those are limited lifetime warranties. We won't go into the warranty talk, but really it's just, for the real estate industry, when you're selling a home, if homeowner A doesn't know that they're the age of the roof and well, it was around 08, 09. Well, now the insurance companies are demanding that you actually have an invoice or something written from a roofing company on letterhead stating that this is the age of the roof. We believe that, we see a lot of homeowners that are getting letters even with a newer roof. Once it hits year 10 or year 15, you're going to be in a non-renewal situation possibly.
Golly.
Where it's trajectorying their own inspector. I know a lot of people, I had a home inspection. Well, it's sending the insurance inspection on all companies. They go out and take 4-sided photos and a photo of the roof now, and you're going to have an email whether or not you have replacement cost value or actual cost or cash value, and do you need to replace it or not?
Yeah.
So we're constantly, over the last couple of weeks, I would say this is a brand new change that people are going to start to feel this shift. I think that everyone will start talking about this probably in a year about, roof age, but it's coming now about roof age. We're starting to see that everywhere. Daily now it's a phone call about, hey, I just came home. Some better than others, obviously. Some people handle a little bit better, but yeah, there's some that absolutely devastated. Got a letter that not only do I need to place my roof, I got to fix my cracked driveway. I didn't have handles on my porch. It's getting really finicky, because it's based on risk. And I'm not sure the numbers that Ohio showed and things like that, but as an overall, loss factor, you have I'm not sticking up for insurance companies by any means. I'm just saying that we've had a lot of natural disasters and things that have been the talk of the news, whether it be the fires, floods, tornadic activity. So again, it's all boiled by risk, and you have the rise in home costs and value, and that obviously makes you want to go back and dial in. So for homeowners, I would say, reach out to your insurance agent, make sure you have replacement cost value, kind of dig into the nitty gritty about, what happens if I have a claim and when to use a claim. How many claims do I have? It's typically 1 or 2 right now, and you're uninsurable. So do you want to use your one-time claim for the new $15,000 roof, or do you want to use your one-time claim for the $100,000 rebuild when your basement floods? That's what Sword's there to kind of educate you on. So we're going to help guide you to, where other company, they don't care, you need a new roof, you need a new basement. We don't care whether or not which one comes first. Well, we're going to tell you budget. You need to start budgeting for the new roof because you need to save that golden ticket basically for something that you can get a little bit more, kind of is the juice worth the squeeze.
Right.
So that's where that boils down to, where you might hear us say, like, what do you mean don't file, or don't do? 5 other companies told us to do that. Well, there's some reasoning behind that. And depending on what your insurance company you have. So we're not just looking out for the roof aspect, we're looking out for the overall, well-being of the homeowner, and to save them from, having that, talk where they're devastated or dealing with that kind of stuff. But also it helps our relationships with our insurance agents, because they get a call back from the homeowner that says, man, your roofer just looked out for me. It's a pretty sweet call to get from your insurance agent. Like, your roofer's looking out for me. It's not typical. It's an atypical call that your insurance agents get, about kind of educating. So again, it just boils back to educate. And when there's enough roofs out there and enough work that, it can be done.
That's awesome. And I kind of want to circle back a little bit, because the one thing that I use to promote you guys is your AI tool, because it just resonated with me in Realtors as far as, hey, we don't have to call Cory to come out and look at the house tomorrow or the next day. You guys can use this tool and plug in the address, and we'll give you that good, better, best right away, so that you guys have a clear idea, and then call us, and so talk about that a little bit, because I think that technology specifically for real estate agents is so empowering, and not a lot of people, if anybody, is using it outside of you guys as a way to be a tool on a real estate agent's belt, So if you want to kind of dive into that for just a quick minute.
Yeah. So we developed, with partnerships with other with other suppliers and Owens Corning specifically, we have a tool called Roofle. What that tool does is, like you said, it gives you a good, better, best option. So when you click on our website, it'll be on the far right there. You throw in your address, and it's going to bring up an aerial view of the home, and you just map out as best as you can the home. I would say, go over versus under. Yeah. If you have a garage there, drag it out a little bit over the tree to the right, or just so you have a better idea. But our goal is to kind of stay on that target number. But anyways, it's going to send you a good, better, best quote. So you're going to have a pricing option for a good shingle. It's going to list, the warranty options. It's going to give you color options. And also it's going to give you financing options. Yeah. So they're kind of a behind the scenes, what is it going to look like, whether I finance it, whether I pay out of pocket. But it's a great tool to have for for real estate agents. Just because there's a lot of questioning right now, whether or not, do I need to replace my roof? What's it going to cost? Yeah. And I think some of the biggest issue also in our industry is you call one company and it's 10,000, you call another one, it's 15, you call another one, it's 20. Yeah. So how do you know who to use? Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's just a tool to be transparent, to say, look, this is what it should be. Whether or not you're using Sword or you're using our competitor, we want you to feel like, I know what I'm buying, it's in line with other companies, without making a choice on process of elimination where
Right.
naturally you're going to go with the middle bid
Right.
just because, you know, the low one's the cheap man, the top one's overselling, the middle one's got to be the guy that's doing it right.
Right.
So literally it's just a tool to quickly provide that estimate whenever they're in that pinch. You know, they're in a Friday to, hey, we have 48 hours to get some of these answers. We want to be able to provide them. We do a lot with inspectors too when they're out on, you know, on homes, and we educate them about different shingles, whether new or old, you know. So we constantly stay in touch with a lot of home inspectors and kind of go back and forth and educate them on certain, you know, types of shingle. You know, is this repairable? So, you know, just to give you an example real quickly, there was one, I wouldn't mention the company, but a newer roof, but it was a discontinued Certainteed Patriot shingle. And I could tell it was a new build. It was 4 years old,
Sure.
but it was a discontinued shingle that I could comfortably say, you know, one tab goes blowing off this roof. You have a full roof replacement, whether it's a 3-tab or dimensional. A lot of people think, well, I have dimensional. One of the recalls I talked about earlier is actually on dimensional.
Really?
Yeah. So I would say, you know, lastly, the 3-tab shingle, you know, there's been a lot of discontinuation on that. So if you have a builder grade or a 3-tab, non-dimensional, people ask me, what's a 3-tab? Non-dimensional, you know, it doesn't have the cool architectural look. Those are discontinued. So a lot of those are not being made anymore. Owens Corning sent a letter out January 1st that those are not being made anymore, but your builders are building with them. You have 10 years on the builder side to kind of, you know, they have a 10-year stand where they, you know, we just have to back that for 10 years after it's built, and they're good to go. So
Wow.
there's a lot of, again, guys, a ton of change and nerdy stuff, but, you know, that's where we have to kind of be the best at it or try to be.
Yeah, well, and I think when you talk about your business, the biggest thing that resonates with me is the relational aspect of it. Like, you guys don't come across as salesy or needing the business. You're there to help, and that's what I've come to appreciate with your business, and the fact that, like, I mean, you walk into the office and his mom's sitting there greeting you. Like, she's like, "Can I get you a coffee?" I'm like, "No, like, I should get you a coffee." Like, I just love the fact that it's got the family value. It's family oriented. They're all in this together, and they're successful. Like, it's just plain and simple, you know? So, like, you know, not everybody's in business with their family. Not everybody can be in business with their family, but you guys, I'm sure some days are better than others, but you guys certainly have a great reputation around town, and it's really cool to see your guys' growth and everything that you're doing. So, but, you know, with that, we have an advice portion, which you've kind of given some to, and we would love to get some more advice for real estate agents specifically. But before we do that, Daniel's going to take over for a sec.
Yeah, we just want to thank Back to Back for letting us use their awesome studio here. Back to Back Ministries is a global nonprofit orphan care organization with their sights set on providing care for today and hope for every tomorrow. From Cincinnati, Ohio to Hyderabad, India, staff teams around the world are stepping into hard stories and choosing to stay. To learn more about the work Back to Back does, how you can get involved, and why a global team won't stop until every child is known and loved, you can visit backtoback.org today.
Great organization.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, maybe advice specifically for real estate agents, since we have a lot of agents that listen to the podcast.
I would say just, you know, going into a transaction as far as roof siding and gutters, I would just, you know, a lot of them are, I wouldn't say it, but they want to help their customers. So at the end of the day, they're getting involved and answering questions and stuff. So I would say, you know, take the inspection reports that you have, you know, contact Sword, you know, use your resources to kind of, you know, go into it, helping the homeowner. And I know a lot of times it's not the real estate agent's job to be the professional roofer. But, you know, as simple as, you know, text messaging over some photos, you know, use me as a resource, Sword, even if it's not roof related, even if it's, hey, my basement's got the mold growing here. I'll be more than happy to go the extra mile to make sure that we find, you know, a contractor that we feel that will help you again about building that relationship. It doesn't have to be just roof related, but we like to, I would just tell, real estate agents that, we're there to help. We're a text message away, a call away. You can call us anytime over the weekends. Again, we just want to be a valuable resource to answer any questions, whether it be homeowner inspection report or, the current buyer. Yeah. So we feel like, we help solidify that. We help, maintain those relationships, create a smooth transaction. And, a lot of it, even if it's, a transaction that involves, needing the proceeds after closing or something, we do that a lot of times to be able to help too with the, roofs or any cost of services. So if there's awesome roof that needs to be done or things like that, we don't mind to, wait for the mortgage to pay for it after the closing of the new home. So we also
That's pretty great.
Done some VA loan stuff here. So we've actually been, registered with the state to be able to do some of these VA projects and help out some of the VA. So
the veterans, that's phenomenal. I love that. And there's probably a lot of real estate agents that are going to take notice of that too, because I think there's a stigma in real estate about VA loans in general, because it's like one extra hoop you have to go through, and they're probably all going to correct me. But there's a few hoops or something you have to go through to establish a VA loan, and some people don't want to worry about it. And it's like, man, but this is the ultimate goal is to help the veteran, So I, for people that love working with veterans and establishing those VA loans, I have a soft spot for that, So it's good for you to say that, because that opens up a lot of different doors as well. So, but yeah, Cory, can't thank you enough for jumping on with us today, man. I, the educational aspect that you provide through roofing and just the eye-opening experience, just to sit there with a real estate agent and be like, hey, this is kind of what you need to look for and stuff like that. Or give us a call. Like you said, you guys did an inspection on my house for free. Like, it's a free inspection. And you guys were like, no, your house is actually in really good shape. Like, they built your roof the right way. There's nothing that you need to do. And I'm like, wow, that's great. Thank you. Like, the peace of mind that you guys were able to give me is already, like, I already know I'm not going anywhere else when I need one. So, but yeah, so thank you for being a part of our podcast, man. Thank you for being a partner with us. Excited to see how 2025 goes and the growth, and can't wait to continue to do it with you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cory.
Thanks for listening to the Cincinnati Real Producers Podcast, powered by Nextdoor Photos. We do this every week, so be sure to subscribe so you can follow along. If you liked our conversation, leave us a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts.